Hello, this is Edward Lambert with another video about the six-element model for acupuncture. This video is going to present the Yangming stage in a cold-induced disorder. Now, the purpose of this video is to give an example of how to apply the spherical meridian flow. And I'm going to be going through some principles on that and showing how the Yangming stage is best understood by using the spherical meridian flow. There will be another video that shows the Shaoyang stage in a cold-induced disorder, and that video will also give an example of how to apply the spherical meridian flow. All right, let's get started. Okay, the meridian dynamics of the spherical meridian flow. First of all, realize the spherical model for the meridians is a sphere. So you're going to be thinking not in a two-dimensional space like I could say in five-element theory, where you're looking at on a piece of paper the five elements relating. Now you're going to be thinking about how the meridians interact in a spherical space. That's the key here about the spherical meridian flow. It sets up a different type of relationship that's circular and spherical. The spherical meridian flow gives a deeper level of precision for understanding how meridians, divisions, and elements interact. This is what I want to show in this video. The spherical meridian model represents a flow of qi in spherical space. Patterns of meridian dynamics appear showing specific meridians are activated while others are deactivated. And that key word there is specific, in that the spherical meridian flow allows you to identify specific meridians which form patterns with other meridians. These patterns describe qi expressions of life, personality, health, and disease. So you get these qi concentrations in the spherical meridian flow. Energy and qi move through, around, and within the meridian structure in definable patterns. So one of the patterns I'm going to be talking about here is obviously the Yangming stage in a cold-induced disorder. Qi can concentrate in certain areas of the sphere in various configurations. So there are many more configurations beyond what I'm going to show here. Many more. Patterns of qi concentration in the sphere describe the meridian dynamics of symptoms and health. Spherical dynamic of heat. So an example of qi concentration in a disease is found in the Yangming stage of a cold-induced disorder. First, we identify the heating cycle in which qi will concentrate. There are four meridians that form a dynamic pattern to produce heat in the body. You will see these in the spherical meridian flow. It's heart, liver, small intestine, and spleen. The element fire generates heat using the yin fuel of liver-blood and spleen-ying. So this circular flow of meridians is the heating cycle. Now I want to show what this looks like on the spherical flow. So this is how the four meridians are connected on the spherical meridian flow. You can see that they're connected in red, and this is the front side of the sphere. You have the heart down to the liver, to the small intestine, and then up to the spleen, and then back up to the heart. This is how they're connected. They are on the front side of the sphere. They are adjacent. And it is a circular relationship. You can see the arrows going around in a circular relationship. So they form this cycle that can reinforce itself as a qi concentration and produce heat. That's why it's called the heating cycle. Okay, the dynamic of the heating cycle in the Yangming stage. Qi concentration in the cycle produces heat. The meridian dynamic of the heating cycle is efficient in generating heat. As heat is generated, spleen and liver yin substances are consumed. So using the heating cycle of the spherical meridian model, we can see in more detail the meridian dynamics of the Yangming stage in a cold-induced disorder. Okay, here are the symptoms of the Yangming stage. To fight a cold pathogen, the meridians form a dynamic pattern around the heating cycle to produce the following symptoms: great fever, great sweat, great thirst, great pulse, red face, restlessness, constipation. So here's the connection to the Yangming division. According to the spherical meridian model, the heat generated in the heating cycle normally flows out through the Yangming channel. It's like this. Yangming has the stomach and the large intestine meridians sitting at these sides of the heating cycle. So you have that red inner cycle producing heat, and then the heat can flow out through the stomach and large intestine meridians in that way. These arrows show the meridian relationships as they express around the spherical pattern. Now this is how Yangming connects to the heating cycle on the spherical meridian flow. So you see once again in red the heating cycle, and then off to the side there you see the orange arrows, the orange dashed arrows going to the stomach and to the large intestine. So in the spherical space you have this chi concentration in the red area, and that chi can flow off through the stomach and large intestine in a normal pattern. And that's how the heat would normally balance out and start to flow to other parts of the sphere, to other meridians. Now the heating cycle flows to the stomach and large intestine meridians. Okay, I just said that. Okay, the Yangming stage dynamic. Now we're getting into how this dynamic is going to work. When Yangming channel closes, qi accumulates in the heating cycle like water behind a dam. So watch this animation. The Yangming will close, here it's closing, and then heat builds up in that, so it concentrates the qi in this heating cycle. It's because the Yangming division closes. That's why it's called the Yangming stage, because the Yangming is closing and producing meridian dynamics, and the meridian dynamics that result from that is the qi accumulation inside the heating cycle. Okay, let's look a little bit more at this. The symptoms of the Yangming stage. The consumption of yin substance produces constipation and thirst. Restlessness comes from deficient yin substances and the concentration of qi in the fire element. Red face comes from concentration of qi in the heart meridian and heart heat. So you see the heat will accumulate inside that heating cycle, and this will consume yin substances from the liver and spleen. So you see that liver and spleen get consumed, and heart and small intestine get hotter, and their fire burns more because qi is consuming them, producing heat in this closed cycle. So the meridian dynamic of Yangming stage. The great fever comes from the generation of heat. The great pulse is produced by the concentration of qi in the meridians of the fire element. Great sweat is produced by the ongoing heat consuming yin substances, and the great thirst is produced by the consumption of liver and spleen yin substances. So here you go, the heat's building up, liver and spleen go deficient, and then you get this hot heat that produces the great fever and the great pulse and the great sweat and the great thirst. So this presentation just gives a simple example of how a division, the Yangming division, can close down, and that creates a qi concentration within certain meridians. And we see that heating cycle, and that heating cycle produces the heat to protect us, to defend us, and to attack a pathogen, a cold pathogen that's entering the body. So the spherical meridian pattern shows us which meridians are closing down and in which meridians the qi is concentrating. So this video gives an example of how that works. And this is actually a great thing about the spherical meridian flow, is that it allows us to see the specific dynamics of, say, a Yangming stage or a Shaoyang stage. And the next video will be about the Xiangying stage.